Hello, SNA fans, back here with another video, and this time it's the AEW Rampage review and see what exactly happened on the weekly Friday night AEW show after SmackDown goes off the air. And yeah, this is a good idea. They put it right after SmackDown so we can have more varieties of watching wrestling. But yeah, tonight's AEW Rampage may not be the biggest and the greatest show of the week, even though I say that way too many times. But I'm just saying, like, for my honest opinion of the show. But yeah, it wasn't the biggest in the best what's that extravaganza of the year. But it was a very entertaining. It was a very decent and entertaining show where I'm trying to come from. Where I'm coming from here. But yeah, without further ado, let's start off on the first match of the night of AEW Rampage, which I'll say is the best match of the night, which is Best Friends taking on the Dark Order of John Silver and Evil Uno, which, yeah, and the Best Friends, obviously Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. This is where we start off the match with the freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy and not Colt Cabana. He's no longer in the Dark Order. It's Evil Uno, obviously, which this is where freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy was about to put his hands in his pocket. This is where Evil Uno's like, no, that won't be necessary because we're gonna do a fair fight and we're gonna do it respectfully. And then this is where he try to offer his hand, and this is where Orange Cassidy's like, wow, like this, I haven't seen Evil Uno did this in a while. Like, then again, this could be a trick, like, considering they've been doing a lot of tricks lately because they're back in their old evil dark side. This is where Orange Cassidy's like, try to shake his hand. Trent Beretta's like, I don't know about this. Like, this is not like, yeah, like this could be either way. Like, but I guess so. Like, just be careful. This is where Orange Cat's like, all right, like, why not? And this is where, like, if anybody's trying to be a friend with me, like, I'm more welcome of hand shaking somebody's hand and somebody's offering it. This is where it was working out at first, but as soon as they get done, this is where Evil Uno then pulls him close to him and hit a huge clothesline right on the Fruit. No, it wasn't a clothesline; it was a headlock on the Fruit wrestler. But this is where Orange Cassidy tried to bounce him, dips him right into the upper ropes. But this is where he gets countered by Evil Uno. He got sent right into the bottom corner ropes. This is where we got Orange Cassidy then go for a shoulder tackle right on the Evil Uno, but he bounced off the top ropes and hit and went right back at Orange Cassidy. Hit a big shoulder tackle right onto Orange Cassidy. This is where he's like, rise of the rebranded and the new improved version of the Dark Order. This is where Orange Cassidy's like, like it's a miracle that, like, the rising orange wrestler got back off his feet from a big, brutal shoulder tackle, and now it's time to put my hands in my pocket, like, so I won't waste my appendage of possibly getting them injured. And this is where I try to go put him in his pockets until he hits the move that he'll never hit yours truly, Super Ninja Austin. The Orange Punch. But anyway, this is where he tried to go for it. But this is where Evil Uno's like, oh no, you don't. This is where he twists them together like if there's a human arm pretzel. Like, and this is where he snap mirrored him, flipped him over right in the middle of the ring. This is where he tried to close on Orange Cassidy. This is where he tried to go for a hip toss, but I believe Orange Cassidy counters it into an arm drag. This is where we got Orange Cassidy then go for a wheelbarrow like pin, but this is where he only got a 2.1 count. This is where we got Evil Uno try to go for a right hand. This is where Orange Cassidy's like, no, wait, like, I'm not ready yet. Like, I need to do this first. This is where he tried to put his hands in his pocket. This is where John, what's his name? John Silver, I guess. His name is, that's what his name is. John Silver's like, oh no, you don't. Like we're not gonna fall for this time. Like, you cannot put your hands in your pockets. You cannot put your hands in your pocket unless you take my hands out. But this is where he tried to pull his hands out. But this is where Evil Uno tried to take advantage of the distraction. But he gets kicked right in the face by Orange Cassidy. This is where Orange Cassidy start fighting short beard ball John Silver. And hit he hit. This is where Irish whips. What's his name? John Silver right into the corner. This is where he hits a gut buster. This is where he get. No, it was no. He got Irish whipped by John Silver. He gets tagged in by Trent Beretta, this tag partner. This is where he dodges out of his clothesline. This is where he gut busters Colt Cabana. We try to go for a leapfrog. This is where they hit a double clothesline. This is where they hit a double team onto Evil Uno. This is where they're about to hit their signature hugs, the big hug of best friends to give the people what they want. But this is where Jericho made a joke saying like, yeah, they did not give the people what they want. This is where both Evil Uno and John Silver did a double team maneuver not double team, tacked them from behind before they can even hug each other. This is where Silver got Orange Cassidy right into the bottom left side, while Evil Uno got Trent Beretta in the opposite diagonal corner in the upper right. That's where they made them hug, like when they try to Irish whip them right to each other, but they Irish whip them right. This is where John Silver's like, no, like we don't want to hug like this right now. Like, no, it's very awkward. And this is where they try to attack their foes, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. This is where they flip him right over the top rope. This is where Chuck Taylor's like, okay, I guess now it's time to give the fans what they came here for. And this is where they give their hug. This is where the camera zoomed out with the fans cheering them on. And this is where Excalibur said his famous line, saying, "You just gotta give the people what they want." And then this is where they went to picture in picture. And then this is where we got Trent Beretta and what's his name? Not Colt Cabana. I keep about to call Evil Uno Colt Cabana. I don't get it, but this is where he tried to kick him right in the gut. But this is where he grabs onto it. He put it onto the referee's hands. This is where he does a Pele against the Geary kick. This is where Orange Cassidy tried to run up right onto Evil Uno. This is where he tried to clothesline Orange Cassidy, but Orange Cassidy ducks. It's a flying hit scissors DDT, but this is where Evil Uno's like, oh, no, you don't. This is where he tried to flip him right in the air. This is where he turns into a stunner. This is where Evil Uno then throws his vest right into Orange Cassidy's face when Orange Cassidy tried to take off his elbow pad and try to go for that move that he never hit Super Ninja Austin. But this is where he hits him with a nailing lariat. But this is where he tried to go for a pin. But Orange Cassidy kicks out at 2.3. This is where Evil Uno is like, this boy just won't quit. Just give up already. Like, you're not gonna beat us. And I was thinking to myself, I wouldn't be full of myself right now, because how do you know if you're gonna beat the freshly squeezed wrestler? But it's where Orange Cassidy counters out of Colt Cabana, tags in his tag partner Trent Beretta, which he started hitting hit some of his comeback moves. And this is where Beretta started hitting forearms right to the face of or was it right elbow right into the face of Evil Uno? But Evil Uno went right back and hit a forearm right to his face. This is where Beretta then goes for a forearm to him. And then this is where John Silver did it again for a second time. But this is where Trent Beretta goes for a backslide. But this is where John Silver flips out of it, super kicks him right into the face after kicking out. And this is where he tried to go for a suplex, but this is where Trent Beretta kept. This is where he tried to hit him with one move, but Trent Beretta counters it into a Kanoku driver right onto him, or strong zero. That's what they call it. This is where would have gotten away with it wasn't for that meddling Orange. And then this is where Orange Cassidy broke that up, even though it would have been a guaranteed win. Also, I got to hand to the Dark Order members. That's the only way they were going to beat the Best Friends, especially the weakest member. Not trying to say he's weak, but in their eyes, they think he is. But anyway, this is where they flip. This is where he flips Orange Cassidy right onto the outside, which he flips right up, which he flips and stay alive onto the apron. But this is where John Silver hit a super kick right onto Chuck Taylor, which that pissed off Orange Cassidy. Like nobody ever hits Chucky T. Like never. Nobody ever hits our best friend. This is where he hit the super kick right into his face. This is where Trent Beretta speared him when he turned around. This is where Evil Uno went right on the top rope, flying and hit a rolling swanton right onto Trent Beretta. This is where Orange Cassidy hit the suicide dive tornado DDT combo right onto the Dark Order member. This is where Orange Cassidy then and throws Evil Uno back in the ring. This is where fans are like, this is awesome. Clap, 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 clap. I was like, yeah, definitely. I was like, if the main event match was not as good as the opener match, like, or even any other matches, like including Tony Storm and Mariah May, like, then I'm definitely giving this a guaranteed victory of being the number one best match of the night, which it turned out to be. I'll say the Undisputed Kingdom versus the Top Flight. It wasn't a bad match, but it was not as good as the opener. Like, it was not something that deserved to be the number one match of the show. Maybe second place, but not first. Just saying, like, the way I see it, at least. But this is where Orange Cassidy go for a crossbody. But this is where he gets backbreaker by Evil Uno. This is where Trent Beretta came back in the ring and started fighting Evil Uno and start helping out his friend Orange Cassidy. This is where he started hitting right hands and then a knife edge chop right into the chest. Started repeatedly hitting some chops right into the chest, and this is where he tried to go for the same on the John Silver, which Gunther did not like what Trent Beretta's doing, and he was saying, like, he's on my top 20 list for him trying to hit the move that only I should hit in this very era of professional wrestling. And if he doesn't stop, he's gonna be my next victim, which I would have put him in there anyways, especially with this if he does this move, or maybe not. But I just don't like the AEW wrestlers, because they're just a complete mockery. Like, especially DeMay, especially with those two championships, one of them being the International and the other one being the Continental Crown. They're nowhere near what, like, my championships, and they're going to get punished by the Reign General. But anyway, this is where John Silver hit a Pele against the Geary right onto Johnson. Oh, not Johnson. The Trent Beretta. He is already Johnson. This is where he Irish whipped right to the Evil Uno. He did a strike right onto him. This is where he hits an insecurity kick, and this is where he hit. And this is where Evil Uno did a stunner, and this is where we got a German suplex by John Silver. And what's that? Like an end of days maneuver. Like, he swinged what's his name back and then back, swing him down and then right up, and then they would have gotten away with it again if it wasn't for that meddling Orange that cannot never hit your favorite assassin with the orange punch. Like, he went for the save. This is where we got John Silver start hitting the forearm right into the face. This is where he throws Orange Cassidy right over the top rope. He was hanging off the top. This is where he flips right over. This is where he finally hits the move that he was trying to hit. Like, when John Silver tried to go for a power driver right onto his best friend Trent Beretta. But yeah, he hits the orange punch right onto him, where Trent Beretta hits the zero. It's basically a Kanoku driver, but he had stabbed while Orange Cassidy took off his elbow pad. Finally did it to Evil Uno too. Like, I was like, luckily that's not yours truly, because I'm the only guy that has a match that he will never hit that move. Even if he beat me in the match, it's gonna be with the beach break, but not the orange punch. Like, even if he was gonna beat me, but I think I would beat him in the match. Like, whenever I step foot in a ring. But that's gonna be in the future. But for now, I'm gonna continue doing this journalistic YouTube job. But anyways, yeah, they got the 1, 2, 3. Your winners, the best friends, they remained in the tournament for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And I'm gonna say this probably for the last time: who's gonna walk out in the finals as your new AEW World Tag Team Champions? Which something tells me they're gonna crown the new champs by April 21st of this year, when AEW Dynasty goes on the air. But in the meantime, I want to give a huge congratulations to Best Friends and whoever's going to win the next tournaments. We're just going to have to wait and see who's exactly it's going to be. And this is where I believe Best Friends finally properly gave the fans what they want without being interrupted by the Dark Order, because they're the new. This is where we got a vignette of something new for the Righteous, which they were digging up something in the ground somewhere in the middle of nowhere, which I wonder what this is going to lead up to. And do you think that they're going to be the next contenders for the AEW Tag Team Champions? Like, why else they'll be showing them in this way, even though it's on their C show of AEW? But you never know what's going to be the future of these two guys that could possibly be AEW Tag Team Champions in the foreseeable future. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the Righteous, but they do have some kind of potential of being the top stars in All Elite Wrestling. But let's move on to the next slide. We got this is where we got Saraya bossing around the cameraman, saying like, "Follow me right now. Like, I wanted to show you my brother. Like, again, hurry up. Like, quit walking too slow. Like, my brother wants a match right here, right now. Like, and we're gonna pick a fight for him." And this is where Harley Cameron's like, "Ain't he the greatest man alive? That's very strong and handsome and big and so tough and intimidating." And this is where Saraya's like, yeah, he's definitely all that stuff you said, Harley. And then he's like, "We're gonna find you an opponent right here, right now." And this is where he's like, "Hey, you guys, who wants to step foot against my brother?" And this is where he grabs one of them. And this is where he sends him right on the top of the brick wall. This is where he's like, like you want a piece of me? He said to this little buff dude, and this is where this big buff guys are like, "Hey, how about me? Like, how about you fight me?" And this is where Saraya's brother, which I cannot remember his name right now, is like, "Give me your best shot." And this is where he tried to go for a right hand, but he ducks out of it and hit him with a back fist right on the side of his face. And he was like, he knocked him out cold for only 1 second of hitting that back fist right onto him. I was like, wow, that's more deadly than Eddie Kingston's back fist maneuver. And this is where he was like, no one can defeat me now. I was like, how can somebody defeat you if you haven't been in the ring with nobody yet? Like, unless you're going to face this guy. Like that was right in front of him afterwards, like, which was none other than the returning Angelo Parker. He's like, "You can have me now." And this is where he started decking him with right hands, start beating him and getting him revenge for nearly ending his career by messing up his, I believe his leg, was it? Or his head. I think it was his head. This is where he started hitting him right hand. This is where, like, when her brother tried to swat a fist right into his face, this is where he dodged a lucky duck out of nowhere, like dodging a shot from this brawler, I guess you could call him, which I would call, like, some say he's copying off of a persona of Karrion Kross. I was thinking like maybe the persona, but he's more built and bigger and intimidating, someone like a Ridge Holland. He reminds me of a Ridge Holland because the way he's built up, like the way he has his muscles, his height. Like he may be like Karrion Kross with the sinister and the angry psychotic character, but he's more dominant like Ridge Holland, like in WWE, if you ask me. But anyways, yeah. But yeah, this is where the security started trying to get him off of Saraya's brother. This is where Saraya was begging the security to get Angelo Parker off of him because he was about to send him into the hospital and get his justice onto him. But it seems like we're gonna have a match with him very soon. Like, if not on their weekly television shows, I think it's gonna be like on AEW Dynasty. But this is where we finally do get this tag team debut match between Timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May against these two enhancement talent that I said that they were going to fight. Which, let me tell you, like, even though it was like a 10-minute battle, or if not less, but it still was a squash match. But despite that, it was pretty entertaining. It was still like pretty good to watch on an episode of Rampage like tonight. Like, nothing special. Like, maybe it's for the best. And yeah, it deserves a third spot on my list of best matches of the night. But this is where we got Timeless Toni Storm doing a special introduction in the ring with both her and her biggest fan and / assistant. She was like, now we're gonna, like, tonight we'll be performing like the special tag team match. Like, so please enjoy the show. Like, and then all around the arena in Boston. Like, and then And unlike Deonna Purrazzo, and fans would be like, boo. I was like, I'm confused right now. Like she's supposed to be the baby face, but she's getting booed like she's the heel, and Thomas Tony Storm's the baby face. And it is where Thomas Tony Storm was like, and watch this, what me and my assistant Mariah is about to do. She attacked the illegal girl that was hanging off the apron, and then Mariah May attacked the legal one, even though that Thomas Tony Storm was probably trying to be the legal woman. And then she hits her boot right into the face. This is where she starts spearing her right into the corner. This is where she hits a running hip attack on her. This is where we got Mariah May, then got tagged in. This is where she started hitting her strikes right onto this girl, right into the left corner side. Irish whip right to the right. Hit her with a spin around a sidewalk slam with her doing her pose as well. Like if she's her own version of Tony Storm, like if she was her rocker days. This is where then she hit her with a right forearm right to the face of this jobber. Like she sold this like if someone just shot her right into her face. Someone should give her a raise. Like if you're gonna have her do the job, and if she does it successfully, like you need to give her a raise for being the king or the queen, not the king, the queen of sacrificial lamb, I guess you could call it. And this is where she tags in Thomas Tony Storm. This is where then she hits her with, I believe, hit her with a German suplex along with the girl that was illegal at a German suplex. This is where she sends her right into the corner. This is where she hits a running hip attack onto her. And this is where Thomas Tony Storm hits a running hip attack onto her along with her tagging Thomas Tony Storm. This is where she hits Storm Zero right onto her. This is where she tags in Mariah May. She hits a running hip attack on the illegal girl on the corner. They got the 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Timeless, Tony Storm, and Mariah May. And I want to give a huge congratulations to them of sharing this stage of having their first match on AEW television. And what's your thoughts on this? Do you think they're going to be teaming more often on AEW TV? It's going to be seeming like that's the case because when Deonna Purrazzo comes in, and this is where she revealed her mystery tag partner in their future tag team match in the next week, which it was none other than Tony Storm's former Thunderstorm teammate, Thunderosa. And I was like, wow, like I should have known it was going to be her. Like, and not because they're both Latina, but also they're because Thunder Rosa also teamed with Tony Storm in the past. And this is where they ran out of the ring. They're like, not tonight. And this is where they rolled out of the ring. This is where Deonna Purrazzo was like, oh, are you scared? Like, why are you running? Like, this is where Deonna Purrazzo was laughing in a satisfied manner, saying, like, that's exactly what I thought you were going to do. Like, I guess we're going to see you two next week on AEW Dynamite in Toronto. And she was like, but in the meantime, see you later. Like, bye-bye. And this is where Thunder Rosa was like, hey, Tony, like, you didn't expect me to make my return and properly say hello and aren't you going to say welcome back to me? Like, don't you even remember me? And this is where Deonna Purrazzo reminded her, like, yeah, she's not the same Tony Storm that we used to know her as. Like, she has been off from the past 6 months, if not more months than that. But anyways, this is where Thomas Tony Storm's like, you little gals will pay for y'all's dirty crimes or whatever you say. I'm not sure dirty's y'all's very maniacal crimes, I guess you could say. Maniacal crime. And you're gonna be in the worst. You're gonna be receiving the worst punishment that we gave to these little gals that no one don't know their names, like on tonight's tag team match. But this is where they left, and this is where we got what's that, a hype video, or more likely a what's that, like some kind of what's that, like the rise of the rise of a wrestler, like talking about their real life their real life personal lives, like with Queen Amanada, like which they were doing in this little vignette with her saying that she's from Ghana, West Africa, just like Kofi Kingston, of course. Shout out to Kofi, like Swerve would say. But I'm being serious right now, saying a shout out to you because you're one of the GOATs of professional wrestling. And then this is where she then pointed out the red velvet. She was like, "Yeah, girl, like I think you're amazing. Like this Thursday, like you." And she was like, "And you're not gonna stand a chance when you face me for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, like next week. When you face me, Queen Eminata, like I'm gonna win that championship from you. Like, and I'm gonna believe in myself. Like, and I'm gonna cheat." And again, I'm going to show everybody back home in my home country that I am going to be a champion like in this business. And even though it's not specifically an AEW championship, but it's a championship like that's associated in this company, and then that's gonna be a start on me winning at the specific AEW gold. But that's me in the future, not me now, of course. Yeah. And do you think she's gonna beat Red Velvet next week for the Ring of Honor Women's TV Championship on Ring of Honor TV? Let me know in the comments down below. Even though I haven't watched Ring of Honor, I haven't watched Ring of Honor yet, but one day I'll give it a try. But for now, I'm going to be watching AEW and making reviews for you guys on these review videos. But yeah, let's move on to the next slide. We got Konosuke Takeshita taking on Commander with a K, like in a mid-card match, which I would give this match fourth best match of the night. It didn't beat the tag team match in the opener and trios tag team in the main event, and then the first mid-card match, but still was a filler match just to have on the show, like just for the fans' entertainment of AEW. But this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita tackles him. This is where he started hitting forearms repeatedly and some knife edge chops, which Gunther was in somewhere a mile away, fuming at Takeshita. And this is where he add him in the number 7 list on the Envy list, which he could possibly go after Eddie Kingston's AEW Continental Crown Championship. Like after Kazuchika Okada, get a shot at the gold next week, or even silver, considering it's silver plates rather than golden plates. But this is where Takeshita Irish Whip Commander with a K. This is where Commander showed him a reason why he spells it with a K by bouncing off and did a dodge and then try to go for and swing and a miss and try to go for like his high flying maneuver. But it looks like Takeshita counters it and turned it into a German suplex. We didn't figure out what was the reason why he turned the Commander K. And some tells me we'll never will, and it's going to remain a mystery. Because those good for nothing meddling heels love to ruin everything when it comes to surprises. But anyways, this is where we got Takeshita doing more of punishment onto what's his Commander with a K, and this is where we got let's see, and this is where, but Commander with a K, then he came back, and this is where he had, what's his name, outside of the ring, Takeshita, and this is where he was walking on the ropes like he always do, because that's some kind of gifted talent from luchadors. I don't know how they could be that cartoonish, but anyway, this is where he run right into the top rope, hit a dipping moonsault right off the top ropes, and landed onto Konosuke Takeshita. This is where he started shaking hands and high-fiving with the fans up front in the front row. This is where he Irish whipped Takeshita back in the ring. This is where he tried to go for a springboard Hurricane Rana back inside the ring. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where Takeshita kicks out at 2.8. This is where Takeshita's like, nope, I'm still here. This is where then Takeshita got thrown right into the bottom left side corner. This is where we got Commander with a cage and tried to go for a springboard, not springboard, I'll say more like a running splash right on Takeshita. This is where Takeshita tried to go for a big pump kick, but this is where Commander with a K then dodged out of it. This is where he tried to go for a springboard diving corkscrew right off the top corner rope. This is where Takeshita must have been arguing with Simon again, just like Chris Statlander and Nixon, I believe her name is. Nixon, I believe her name is, and Sami Zayn and Chris Statlander, because he hit the least most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. And he was like saying, like, I'm gonna hit the Blue Thunder Bomb, and your bald a-hole's not gonna do nothing about it. Like what is wrong with these people trying to provoke me? Who I am, CM Punk? Like, and who are you? Like Jack Perry? Like why are you not advising? Why are you not taking my my advisement of you not using that move, because that move never works unless you're in Saudi freaking Arabia. Like, unless AEW can go to Saudi Arabia and grant Britt Baker's sarcastic wish that she wished for, like when they brought in Andrade to AEW. But in the meantime, it seems like we're gonna be we're gonna see them going to other countries besides the Middle East. But until then, like, this move's not gonna work. But even though it nearly did work, because as soon as Takeshita hit the maneuver, the referee counted to 1, the referee counted to 2. This is where Commander OK got the shoulders up. Even Jericho and Excalibur thought, and even Tony Schiavone pointed out that the fans were very shocked because they thought that Takeshita was going to break that curse and prove Simon wrong, that this move will work in America. You just got to believe that it will work. But Simon Miller's not going to believe it, because he thinks it's going to be a cursed move that you cannot get the job done and beat your opponents with. And then this is where what's his name?